What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus. Got my brother AB over here. You got the big homie, Jason. Notice I ain't call you a hater this time, Jason.
No, our favorite Golden State hater. I actually like that.
You like that? The favorite? We got our favorite hater from the Golden State. Hot Take Jay with the shoes. We back with the shoes behind you. I got to show you the shoes that I just got, man. I just got some. They're the Jordans, but they're called Paris Saint-Germain. I think it's like a soccer team or something like that. But they look nice. I'm gonna have to show them to you.
Where you get them at?
I ordered them actually on the Nike website.
Okay.
So under Jordans, they're not Jumpman. So don't try to make fun of me, boy.
They got the Korean special.
They ain't on the court. No, they ain't no Korean special. I see that football jersey you got on is probably the Korean special though. Aaron couldn't wait to wear it. Look, hey, he made. Oh, I see it. I see
Warren Moon.
Warren Moon. I see you.
Yep.
I see you.
To represent. And yes, it is a Korean special.
Hold on. Wait. Shoe check. What you got on?
Oh my God! Again.
Shoe check. Hey, this is a surprise to me too, cause I ain't come from. No, you gotta show us the shoes on your feet, bro.
We going De La Soul Nike Dunk. These hot dunks right here. That's what we going with.
I got the Pumas. The Pumas.
Hey, Puma, LaMelo Ball.
They're a bit worn out, but I was chilling at home today.
I'm not with Pumas. I ain't had a pair.
You know how I do it. I got on the Desert Sandstorms.
Man, you ain't gonna never learn, brother. Take them off. Take them off so we can see. That's the only way he gonna learn. Take them off. Everybody show you the shoes.
Ain't gonna happen.
This dude is not a team player, but anyway, let's get into it. So we got some good stuff that we talking about today. So right off the bat, there's been a lot of changes happening in the NBA, and we're gonna talk about some of that today. And who we gonna focus on today? The Los Angeles Clippers. The Los Angeles Clippers, we're going to take a look at their roster, what it's looking like, and we're going to talk about if they're going to be able to compete with the Los Angeles Lakers. So do you think that they did enough, Aaron, right off the bat with changing up their roster to compete?
No,
with the Lakers?
No, I don't. It's taking two steps forward, or one step forward to take two steps back.
The brother had to really think about that one.
Man, I just got off work. Man, slow down, just roll with me. So they brought in Serge Ibaka, right, to replace Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah,
I like it, but Montrezl Harrell was the sixth man of the year, so it's kind of hard to say because I do think Serge Ibaka is probably a better fit. He's a better defender. Montrezl Harrell is not a good defender, but sixth man of the year. So obviously he was producing. It's not, you can't sit there and say that Montrez wasn't productive in his time. So that move, I like bringing in Serge, but I don't like losing Trez. Then you give Marcus Morris, what was it, 4 years, $64 million?
Yep.
Do you think he deserved that though?
No.
I don't think so either.
I don't. Mm-hmm. So and I like him, so they need to keep him. Yeah. But contracts or whatever, when you're trying to improve on the margins, you gotta, all that stuff matters. And then they swap out Landry Shamet for what's the guy name?
Luke
Kennard. And with the idea of Luke Kennard being a point guard. Mm-hmm. Starting at point guard and playmaker. The biggest thing that they're missing is a playmaker, and I'm just not buying that Luke Kennard is going to be able to address that. And until they address it, I don't think that they got good enough.
Yeah. Okay. So you saw that they just signed what's my man Reggie? What's his name? Reggie Jackson. You saw they just signed.
Oh, you on that Bleacher Report, huh? You got that?
Yeah. I saw it.
I see you stepping up.
They got Nick Batum too. They do got Batum. So Batum, although Batum wasn't nearly worth almost $30 million a year, he's
No.
definitely great at the veteran minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like that. In the end, though, I just think they have to improve that playmaker spot.
So this is what their roster is looking like right now. You got Paul George, Luke Kennard, Terrence Mann, Kawhi Leonard, Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Serge Ibaka, Fiondu Kambejili or whatever. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna call him
third cousin.
I'm gonna call him MK. Zubac, Arturo, and Patrick Patterson, and then they just picked up
So
Reggie
Marcus,
Jackson.
where are you getting your intel at?
Boom.
ESPN.com.
Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report, baby.
All right. All right.
Where all the Hoopz Junkies go.
So I would say that they're kind of playing it cool. If this is where they're at after the trade deadline is passed, then I would be like, I'm not sure that they did enough, but they're leaving their wiggle room. Detroit was experimenting with Luke Kennard at point guard, and so if he proves to be enough, then they're good, and they don't have to do nothing. And I think that they had a solid offseason. If they start out the season and he's not it, and they still don't make a trade, because there's two players that they can pull the trigger on: Marcus Morris, if they have to turn around and flip him for value, or if this Paul George thing and behind the scenes don't get right. So all that little chatter, the dramatic stuff behind the scenes. So they can always pull the trigger on the Paul George, Marcus Morris trade if necessary. I love the Serge move because he gives you the 3-and-D. Way more value than Montrezl Harrell. He can go. He just was, unless you were going to immediately flip Trez at the trade deadline, or
That's what I think they should have done. That's what they should have done.
I'm not so sure that they would have turned around and been able to get Serge and re-sign. I'm not no straight up cat nerd, but I'm guessing that's.
Well, on Trez they had the bird rights.
Yeah,
so you could sign Serge first and then sign Trez. And then when he signed for so cheap for the Lakers.
Well, you guys are way higher. I think Trez is a solid 7th or 8th man on a team that needs him. He's not, to be honest. When you look at the Lakers roster, I think the opportunity cost of them getting another 3-and-D wing was way better. They needed Batum. They needed, more Caldwell Popes, more Schroeders for the roster. They didn't need a Trez. I didn't think trading JaVale McGee at $5 million expiring to go pay Trez was the answer. So in the end, I think the Clippers won by letting the Lakers waste that asset.
Look, I don't think that Trez is just as great. You know what I'm saying? I do think that Serge is going to be a better fit. But like I said, he did win 6th Man of the Year. He has been in the runnings for the last 2 or 3 years. So I'm saying the opportunity of cost of letting him walk out the door for nothing. Like,
I'm assuming it wasn't. I'm assuming it wasn't about Steve Ballmer not willing to write the check, and so cat nerds can comment on whether they could have maximized that Serge and Trez, and if they just let him walk out the door.
I don't think it was about money. I think that, everything leaked out at the end of the year about all the internal locker room issues they were having. Also, we didn't bring up that Lou Williams' name been coming up too, as far as someone that they're trying to move out. So I think Lou Williams and Trez were probably the two leading the rebellion against the preferential treatment that they're getting.
So the Lakers offered him 2 years, $20 million, like right above that mid-level, etc., or right at that mid-level that they could offer, right? So then Steve Ballmer and the rest of the ownership is like, well, we can outbid the Lakers and offer him 2 years for $25 million or $30, enough to entice him. And now you got a disgruntled guy who don't want to be there, and you're over the cap, and you're gonna have to take 50 cents on the dollar just to get what? To turn around and maybe you can trade him for the right guard. I don't know. I'm not, to be honest, letting the Lakers waste their asset was when we fast forward all the way to the second round of the playoffs next year, and they're stuck with Trez and they can't pivot out. Their rotations are messed up because they're too big heavy. You're gonna look at this move and you're gonna be like, you know what? That was a good chess move.
Hey, does Trez become the third scoring option on the Lakers team? Do y'all think, or
no, not with Schroeder there. Schroeder gonna be the third option. Just if for no other reason, because he had the ball in his hands more than
he gonna shoot it. He ain't shy about shooting.
Trez would be fourth. Trez would be fourth on the scoring as far as the scoring.
Okay, so let's say LeBron loses 5%, because I would like to think it would be more, but I've been saying more for the last 5 years. And let's say LeBron loses 5% and Schroeder either gets hurt or don't quite live up to what he was brought in to be. And they're going to look at that $9 million and look at, what KCP can't do. And they're going to say, man, we should have.
They also got Kuzma too. I forgot about Kuzma.
And that's what I was going to ask him.
Kuzma too. That's what I'm saying. They're going to look at that and they're going to say
Kuzma getting traded.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
So put it this way: if Kuzma gets traded for that Avery Bradley, Marcus Smart type of player, which is he's not even worth that, but if he did, then Trez, holds more value just because. But then they re-signing players like Jared Dudley too. Like, come on, man. But,
hey, they need someone to manage the locker room, Hey, I do like Jared Dudley giving out free tickets all the time. He be on Twitter like giving out free tickets like it's candy.
Hey, he ain't giving them out to none of us. All right, but let's move on now. So we're gonna move across the conference over there and talk about Boston and their $28.5 million trade exception that they picked up.
Dropping the heat today, Marcus. I see you.
Getting
your intel.
I'm the host, baby. I'm the host. Okay,
Well,
so it was a deal that they got in the sign and trade with Gordon Hayward. And what do you guys think that they're going to do with that, or what should they do with that 28.5? Now I can tell you, Danny Ainge said that they're planning on holding on to it and seeing how the season play out and see what they need to do. But do y'all think that they need to try to add another star to that team, or what should they do with that $28.5 million?
Take it away, Jay.
So yeah, I actually like when we was chastising my man for letting Gordon Hayward walk. Aaron and I, had a little bit of back and forth, and the only thing we could come to the conclusion on was Gordon Hayward just was not amicable to no deal. So you play out the scenario and you say, Gordon Hayward's like, ooh, I'll take your little 4 years, 90 million. Mm-hmm. And then Charlotte comes in and says, player, we're going to give you 4 years, 120 million. Totally botched the whole Miles Turner and some change deal. And I said, Boston can't let Gordon Hayward walk for nothing. And what I pretty much predicted was they paid 2 extra second-round picks for Charlotte to take on a sign and trade contract, and now it works out to where they get that monster exception. And so now they remain flexible to add to that core because Tristan Thompson just wasn't enough. And if Kemba Walker goes sideways, they need to hedge that talent base, and they can't just let it walk. So now you fast forward, $27 million. I was like, Andre Drummond, they need to get big. He don't fit. He's a little too much of a prima donna, and he don't stretch the floor. And then I read another little nugget, which means that they're hard cap. They sign and trade. So guess what? They can only maximize $19 million. Well, who fits right up under that $19 million? Miles Turner coming in at a hot 18-2 or whatever he's at. So what I'm thoroughly expecting is if Robert Williams ain't it, they're gonna throw the house, draft picks for Miles Turner, and then tweak the roster around it and be good to go. And then they'll at least have their stopgap for Joel Embiid and Giannis and somebody to actually be respectable. for the run.
Yeah,
Aaron, do you think the injury to Kemba Walker will cause them to like use that $28.5 million like prematurely or before they wanted to? You know what I'm saying? To try to get somebody to fill in where he's
the good
missing.
thing for the Celtics is that they, because of their roster with Jason Tatum and Kemba Brown, or not Kemba, but Jaylen Brown is they're young. Even Marcus Smart, they're young and they don't have to do anything prematurely because their window is wide open. It really is wide open.
6-7 years.
Yeah, they're just starting in on their max contracts and whatnot. Kemba, like you said, like Jason said, is you hope that his knee and all that stuff holds up, but that trade exception allows you to hedge your bet on Kemba. So if he is compromised and he ain't the same guy that they traded for or that they signed, thinking that he was going to be, will put them over the top, you can add another piece, and then Kemba go into that Kyle Lowry type of role where it's like, what you give us is what you give us, but when you ain't got it, we're not relying on you to be able to bring it. That trade for that trade that you mentioned, it didn't make any sense, man. When you were like, y'all about to let this dude walk out the door for no reason.
I think Danny Ainge thought he was going to end up walking anyway.
Well, I think they wanted him to walk. First of all, let's be real.
He said that they didn't want him to walk. They wanted him to be there, but I know they say the opposite of it.
That's lip service because Brad Stevens was his coach in college. They got a really great relationship, but in the end, sometimes both parties can look at it and be like, "Is this in our best interest? Is our best interest for Gordon Hayward to go his separate ways and Boston to move on, and especially at the price that he was asking for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they might have wanted to sign him back at $10 million, 25.
Yeah,
or whatever, 30. What? Sign for 30.
By signing him to the max, he's stepping on toes. Yeah, is he a hybrid 3-4? And Tatum and Jaylen Brown are too light in the rear to really hold down that 4 spot. But when you factor in a hybrid lineup and where they're trying to go, and then what they have to look at with Embiid and Giannis, they needed more beef and more length. And Gordon Hayward, when it comes down to it, ain't the value. And then you look at
any of it.
$34 million of $110 million salary cap, give or take. Like that's a misallocation of assets. You need to spread that thinner with the talent that actually fits. And Miles Turner's the guy, but if Robert Williams levels up and Tristan Thompson has maybe stretched out to the 3, then it's all a moot point.
Right.
I don't think that's the case. But when he says I'm riding this out real quick, he wants to see something before he pull the trigger on the trade, because they don't have that. Remember that war chest they had 3 years ago, Aaron? It's no more.
Yeah, it's gone.
That's
dried up.
It's gone. So now they have to get Miles Turner. They're gonna have to offer 2, maybe 3 picks, and so they're in position. They're flexible. And we'll see.
I don't think so. I think they could get Miles Turner for 1 pick. I think that the Pacers want out, and I'm not saying because someone else could probably beat the offer, but a trade exception is really no money added. You know what I'm saying? I think they can get him for 1 pick. You have to probably figure out the protections and all that stuff on it. But I think they could probably get him.
Boston ain't drafting earlier than 20.
That's what I mean. But whatever. Still, maybe you say, hey, I'm protected. It would take a catastrophe for it to happen, but you never know. Or maybe you push, and they're so young, so you can't even push it out. But I do think that they could probably get it for 1. I was going to say, look,
gun to your head, how much are you paying if they say, here's Miles Turner right now? Are you giving 2?
If I had to do 2, I would do 2.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, I think they can get it for 1. I think that the Pacers want out.
They got asinine to me, bro. That's crazy.
They got Sabonis. They have Sabonis, and they're taking up the same space.
He's the one to go. Crazy. Anyway.
Yeah. They love Sabonis. He was an all-star. Now I was gonna say though, Tristan Thompson can't stretch out to no three. He ain't even figured out if he left-handed or right-handed yet. He don't know which hand he shooting free throws with. And I haven't seen Williams in a while, but last I checked, he wasn't stretching the floor either.
No,
So,
he wasn't stretching the floor, and that's why he's never going to be more than a.
I rule him out though. Yeah, but I won't rule him out. I'll rule Tristan been in the league for 10 years. He ain't getting it.
Well, I don't think either one of them.
Williams might have a chance.
Oh, hey, I wanted to.
Yeah.
That reminds me. I forgot. I wanted to show both of y'all something. Check out these waves.
Hey,
let me pull y'all to safety. Man. Let me throw you a life raft. Y'all, both of y'all drowning in the ocean over here.
Hey, quick, grab on one of Jason's shoes.
Yeah, grab on the side.
Is that why we didn't record yesterday? You was faking like you had a migraine, but you was just really trying to get lined up and get.
No, brother, no. That stays there. I just keep forgetting to show it to you. But I just wanted to warn y'all so you can grab hold to your life raft.
Get your what do you call it? Dramamine?
What's that?
The Dramamine, the motion sickness.
Yeah, get your motion sickness pills. Take it 30 minutes before you about to get on the water, because we want it to be kicked in. We don't want y'all feeling nauseated and all of that good stuff. So, but hey, so a lot of money is going around, or a lot of money was going around the NBA during this off-season time, where you had a bunch of players, some players getting max contracts. All right, so let's talk about that.
Okay, hold on. Let me preface where we going with this.
We call this segment pocket watching. That's what we doing. We pocket watching all these dudes.
I'm sitting over here
in somebody else's pockets.
Yeah, I'm sitting over here counting people ducats.
So hold on. So let's set the parameters here.
Yeah.
There's a DeMar DeRozan max contract, and then there's a Steph Curry max contract.
Okay, yeah.
And we need to clarify, when we criticize somebody, I call them low self-esteem franchises who they don't have the self-esteem to walk away or make a trade or sell them for 50 cents on the dollar because they know they don't want to keep them. And so, how are we going to classify a true max versus a low self-esteem? We just handed out the money because we were scared to lose you type of contract. So whatever name y'all can come up with, but that's where this is going.
It's levels to this, is what we want everybody to know. So
what we doing? Take it or leave it. This is take it or leave it segment.
This segment is called pocket watching. Who do you think deserve to get the money that they got? Okay. Did they deserve it or did they not deserve it? So in this segment of pocket watching, because when you ain't got that much money, you love to watch people that do got that much money, and I ain't ashamed about it. So like I said, we're
gonna switch them. Okay, so Aaron might go first on one guy. I'm gonna go first on the other guy because I'm scared that we're gonna have the exact same answers, and I don't want to just be saying yes, master. Yep.
Yeah. It's all gravy. So yeah, like Jason said, it's levels to it on each team. To some teams, what those players got is a max contract. To other teams, it ain't max.
Yeah. So go ahead, Aaron. Pick one, Aaron.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
The artist.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go ahead and follow it. Or Marcus, you can get your opinion real quick. Your novice one.
Oh, what do you got to say about him here?
I want to hear what you got to say. Putting you on the spot, brother.
I mean, he got Donovan Mitchell where he got 106.
No, take it or leave it. Is he worth it or not?
With Donovan Mitchell, I say take it.
All right.
Donovan Mitchell, I mean, he's been the go-to player. Donovan Mitchell has been one of the biggest reasons that the Utah Jazz has even been making it to the playoffs and is making it as far as they have been in the playoffs in the last 2 or 3 seasons. The first time when he was a rookie and they played in 2018 against the Rockets, when the Rockets went to the semi-conference finals. where he was like the sole reason why that team was doing as well as they were doing, and we already knew that he was up and coming when we saw that his performance. The next year he got even better, and then you saw what he did in the bubble with him and Jamal Murray going back and forth, and was some amazing games. So I say he deserved it. I say take the money and run. Donovan Mitchell.
Go ahead.
What you say, Jay?
So I'll be honest with you. I was a little lukewarm on it prior to the bubble, but after the bubble, I'm like, no, dude, give him his cheddar. He is
back up the Brinks truck.
Yeah, you can't. There is nothing to really talk about, and we got less than 10 minutes, and we got 4 or 5 players to go through. So I'm just gonna keep it at that. He showed out in the bubble. Give him his money.
Yeah.
You know how you know he worth it? Because they let him negotiate that opt out after year 4. They was like, negotiate your contract because you're getting whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So the next one would be Brandon Ingram.
No, the next one I'm gonna nominate is Brandon.
Okay, my bad.
And I'm saying he's absolutely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was my favorite one that somebody else might say. And I think he's got the most offensive talent out of the group. I mean, I think that Jason Tatum's a strong one, but my favorite player, if I was to want to hand out the money, and Donovan Mitchell has probably more of a body of work and track record right now. But when I see Ingram, I thought that was a catastrophic mistake for the Lakers to trade him. Even though it worked out in the short term, they got AD, they got their championship. It's downhill for the Lakers. And looking at Ingram, he's the real star on the Pelicans more than Zion. And I expect to like it more than most.
Yeah, that's when it's a win-win. I don't think it was bad for the Lakers. It's a win-win because they got the championship. They capitalized LeBron's window, but the Pelicans got what they got out of it. It's a win-win for both teams. Yeah. Marcus,
what do you think about it, AB? That one. I agree with Jason. I say take it.
With Jay. So we're gonna talk about Jason Tatum in a minute, but I think that Brandon Ingram has the highest upside out of all of these players. Mm-hmm. And his offense is his package. Like, I think that Jason Tatum gets this is gonna sound like an indictment on Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum gets so much praise because he came out the gates like gangbusters his rookie year, got him to the conference finals, and he played in Boston. He in Beantown.
He's been in the limelight.
He in Beantown, so it gets praised. Whereas Brandon Ingram he didn't excel right away in LA, and they was ready. They were all championship or bust, and they want to just throw him out with the trash because he didn't excel right away. But no, I'm with Jason on that.
The next one, Bam Adebayo. I'm gonna tell you, no, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's one of those, Jason, where you were talking about where the team is just kind of afraid to lose you, so they throw stuff at you. I think that was probably more about Giannis than it was about Bam. Keeping him so that when Giannis, they can lure Giannis to the team eventually. I think Bam is a good player. He's still developing. But as far as a max contract player, I mean, if you look at what he did in the championship in the bubble, I know he played injured, but he wasn't giving you really nothing. I mean, it was Jimmy Buckets was dragging that team across the finish line every time. So I think it's good he got paid, huh?
You can't just throw him out. You can't just say I know he played injured like it was nothing minor. Like he was compromised, clearly compromised.
He was compromised, but is he worth $195 million? Like I said, I think that's more about Giannis than it is about Bam. But go ahead. What are your thoughts on it?
Aaron,
Jason?
I'll take it. I think that this isn't necessarily this is definitely not a low self-esteem franchise. he's a fringe player on whether he's worth it. But you can't quantify it simply off the box score. And if you do, you got to look a little deeper. If he's going to maximize his potential, he's going to offer a lot of that versatility that Draymond Green offers. And if you judge Draymond Green on his $25 million a year and looked at his scoring, absolutely not. But just to keep it concise and keep it pushing, because the one I really want to talk about is De'Aaron Fox. I think you have to do it, but you remain. I'm taking calls if I have to put him in the Giannis deal, and I'm also leaving him room to grow. And the thing that'll make him special is if he can get some of that PJ Tucker corner 3 love going, then at that point all my questions are over.
So what you want to talk about with De'Aaron Fox?
Go ahead, Aaron.
De'Aaron Fox, that's a tough one because of the position that he played is at a premium in the league. But in the end, I'm gonna say leave it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not a max guy. And if he was a max guy, the impact by what was this, his 3rd year in the league, fourth year. His impact would have been more pronounced already in Sacramento, and it's not like they don't have talent. And you saw what Ja Morant, what the impact that he had instantly on Memphis, and it's clear right away to everyone looking at that's a max guy.
That's a perfect example, because when you look at De'Aaron Fox and then you look at Ja, their templates of a player are the same. Mm-hmm. And when you immediately have Ja come back in behind him and show you what that slam dunk max contract is supposed to be, dude, that was so cherry right there with Ja Morant. And I echo it, because if De'Aaron Fox don't get a 3-pointer, and part of it may just be that low self-esteem Cowtown that's about 90 miles to the west of me right now.
Nobody's signing.
they're a bad franchise. And maybe we're indicting him based off of his circumstances. But in the end, when we have this conversation 3 years from now, Lonzo Ball is going to hit free agency. He's going to go for about $10 to $15 million a year, if that. And somebody's going to get a steal, and then they're going to look at De'Aaron Fox's 30-something million, and they're going to be like, you know what? That value, there's a big disparity right there. That's just my take.
You know who he is? He's Mike Conley. He's Mike Conley.
He is Mike Conley.
He's a good point guard.
Yeah.
He's a good point guard. It's like you can win with a Mike Conley. You ain't winning with Mike Conley as the guy on your team. That's the difference. And I like De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
He's from Houston, in fact. He's a Houston boy.
There you go.
He's a Houston boy. I like him. I'd be happy if we got him in Houston, I'll tell you that much. But at 30, I mean, and then it's not even the contract. I'm just literally talking like, is he a max? Now, you know what I'm saying? Don't so much worry about the money, but just in essence, is this a max guy? And I will say that there's not very many max guys in the league as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I think that we can probably name the guys who are truly worth the max probably on 2 hands, maybe 2.5.
Yeah. Jay, my Golden State hater. You saw we got Gerald Green back, huh?
Oh no, this is.
I'm happy for the dude. I'm happy for him.
But I mean, and it's value on a vet minimum. So
no, this is what I want to bring up for the Golden State hater. He always dissing on James. Then I read this tidbit.
They trying to get him.
State got an offer. They threw out a trade proposal trying to pair him with Clay and Steph.
That'll be messed up if they ended up taking James. But we're gonna go ahead.
No, what's up with your boys trying to fabricate trade interest, thinking that they could pull an Anthony Davis and realizing that they didn't have the juice to get no Harden trade? How about that one?
Thank you for watching the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, if you want to check out a few more clips, make sure that you hit the bell notification so that you're alerted whenever we post a new video.